Hey guys, this is Ray, owner of DRP Motorsports, and today we're going to do something just a little bit different. And it was suggested to me that I do a question and answer video series and try to do it, quite every so often as you guys make comments on YouTube and email questions and so on and so forth. Um, a lot of YouTubers out there do question and answer sessions as part of their YouTube content. I really don't consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just an enthusiast that uses YouTube to showcase what I do in my business and advertise my business. But hey, why not? I figured it'd just be, another advertisement and possibly a source where you guys could find out some useful information, what little bit that I do know. So, in moving forward in these question and answer videos, put your questions in the comment section, and that way the next session that I do, I can pick up on those questions and try to answer your questions specifically. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. So, I've got a list of questions here, not many. I didn't want the first session to, to extend out and be very long, but I tried to pick out questions that I do get quite often. And as a lot of you know, one of the more popular tuning options for the Coyote engine that I do offer is the Ghost Cam tune. And I get a lot of questions about the Ghost Cam tune, and most of them are very legitimate questions where people simply don't understand what we're doing and how that works through us. So, first question simply is this: does the Ghost Cam tune hurt my car or truck's engine? And the answer to that question is no. And the reason I say that is when we set up a Ghost Cam tune, I've got a Ghost Cam tune video that's been published a while back, and it's got a lot of views. And I mentioned it in this video, but I'll mention again. All we're doing is manipulating camshaft phase timing so that it creates a overlap or a chop where the intake valve and the exhaust valve is open at the same time while the engine is idling. That in turn causes that nice choppity chop sound that everybody associates with a performance engine. Like I said, you can check that video out. I can link it in the description below, and you can see more details. But no, it doesn't hurt the engine. As a matter of fact, in the tune file, we're actually using cam angles that Ford already has mapped out for different driving and engine RPM and load scenarios that's already there. So we're actually using Ford's camshaft angles that were intended to be used at a different RPM and a different load, but it works to make that nice choppity chop sound. So we're not really reinventing the wheel. We're just using logic that Ford already has in the tune and using it so that it gives us the desired result. Another question associated with hurting things with the Ghost Cam tune: is it rough on my catalytic converters? And the short answer to that question is yes and no. If you're just a typical enthusiast and you want to hear your car choppity chop, for just a minute or two at a time in the parking lot or the driveway, or you're just coming to a stoplight, you're waiting on the stoplight to change or something like that. If your car's only chopping for, a few minutes at a time, it doesn't hurt a thing. However, if you were to let your car chop for like a long period of time, 30 minutes or an hour, which is kind of ridiculous anyway, it can cause the catalytic converters to actually build up with extra fuel and overheat. So that is a possibility, but it's a very, very unlikely scenario because most people simply don't operate their vehicles that way. Ghost Cam tune, another question. Can I just get a Ghost Cam tune added to my existing tune? Or can I just get a Ghost Cam tune, period? Nothing else. Well, with us, anytime that we get a tuning order, and no matter what platform we use, we go through a process of taking a stock file, building a customer a tune, making sure that that tune performs correctly with a normal idle first. And also in that process, we maximize the performance our goal is not to just create a sound effect tune and that be it. When we make a tune, performance is our actual number one priority, and reliability. Okay, so when we build a customer tune file, we maximize performance and reliability. The ghost cam effect is just a secondary icing on the cake kind of deal. So when you get a ghost cam tune from us, we simply add that to the performance tune that we've already built for you to begin with. So I've had people say, I'm not worried about performance. Just send me the ghost cam tune straight off the bat. Well, that's not how it works with us in any legitimate tuner. We're not going to give you a one size fits all tune. We're going to go through a tuning process in which we send you a base file, have you data log, work from those data logs, perfect the main tune file, and then when all that's said and done, we add the ghost cam tune effect on top of that. So that's how that works. So you just simply don't get a ghost cam tune from us, and you simply can't get it and add it on top of somebody else's tune, because somebody else's tune likely is locked. We can't open it, we can't modify it anyway. So we build our own tune files from scratch, because that's just how you run a legit business and you build a legitimate name for yourself. Next question: will tuning void my warranty? Possibly, possibly not. It just depends. Lots of times tuning has a twofold purpose. It can just simply be to add a little bit of performance to a otherwise stock vehicle, or it could be to enable the vehicle to run modified or aftermarket parts. Okay, so for example, if you tune your car just to maximize performance for a certain fuel like 93 octane or E85, and all you're doing is just tuning the vehicle, you're just reprogramming it, and you're not changing any parts on the car. And it's just say, for example, you have an powertrain warranty failure, not a powertrain warranty failure, but you have a powertrain failure and you go in for warranty. That's kind of up to dealer discretion. You know, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. If the dealer, you go in there and you put the vehicle back to stock software, the dealer looks at it, they fix the problem, they warranty it, no questions, no asks. No questions asked, no harm. Now, if you go in there and you put on a set of long tube headers, or you bolt it on a supercharger that doesn't have any kind of warranty associated with that supercharger kit, because there are some that do offer powertrain warranties, and you come in there with a hole in your block because you threw a connecting rod, or you're chugging smoke because you burned a piston or cracked rings or something like that, well, warranty's not going to cover that. You can't hide that. So it's kind of a yes, no question. For a simple tune, simple bolt-ons like an intake, even some cases headers, talk to the dealer first. See what they got to say before you bring in the car. A lot of times they'll work with you, and you'd be surprised what you might can get away with. But always ask first, okay? Another question I've had was, does long tube headers cause check engine lights? Well, they can. If you're one of these folks out there who install long tube headers without catalytic converters, most definitely it can cause a check engine light for catalytic converter efficiency. Anyway, that's it's not legal anyway. What about long tube headers with catalytic converters? Well, some long tube headers with catalytic converters, those converters are in a position, whether oriented to the engine or the catalytic converter media is not quite up to the task, and it doesn't, catalyze the stuff and exhaust to a point that the rear O2 sensors are still happy with it. So yeah, you can still possibly get a check engine light for catalytic converter efficiency with long tube headers, even with catalytic converters. That's just a gamble that you have to take. There's things out there that quite possibly could get you around that, but never, ever, ever ask me or any other legitimate tuner to disable your rear O2 sensors in order so that you don't get a check engine light for either not having catalytic converters or not having good enough catalytic converters, because that is highly illegal and will get shots like us in trouble in a heartbeat. So don't ask, okay? We can't do it. Secondly, bringing up that topic, I've had people say, well, if you won't turn off my rear O2 sensors, I got another guy that will. Well, fine, that's great. But if you're living in an area which requires a smog test that requires a check of emissions monitor readiness, if you disable those rear O2 sensors, even though it keeps you from having a check engine light, if you disable those rear O2 sensors, it will disable your catalytic converter readiness, and you'll never be able to pass that smog test. So keep that in mind. Do I disable rear O2 sensors? Just mentioned it. Absolutely not. I do not, nor any legitimate tuner out there will disable rear O2 sensors. That is a big no-no with the government. Last question, and I think it's a very legitimate question, and a lot of guys have asked and asked and asked and asked, and I really don't have an answer yet. When will the 24 Mustang tuning be available? Well, I can only tell you what I know. I'm a dealer for a couple of different tuning platforms. Been tuning, talked to a lot of people in the industry. Do they tell me all their secrets? No, they don't tell me exactly the fine details of everything, but I do know that aftermarket tuning companies are working on trying to get access or crack the code in order to be able to custom tune a 24 Mustang. As of right now, can't do it. They are working on it. They are trying, but Ford done a fabulous job of locking the 24 ECMs. And it takes some special key coding in order to be able to program those ECMs. I'm not saying the ECMs are impossible to program. You can program them, but the moment you put anything in them other than an aftermarket tune, if you put an OEM tune, they do fine. But if you're an aftermarket tuner trying to use something like a HB Tuner's device and you try to program a 24 Mustang ECM, it will go into a protection mode and the ECM will not function. You got to have certain security keys to be able to program in when you program those ECMs in order for them to accept an aftermarket tune. And that's where the tuning companies are at right now. They haven't got past that point. Do I think it's coming? Yes, most definitely, eventually, but it might take months or even, honestly, could be a couple more years for that's available. What is available right now are Whipple supercharger kits. Ford give Whipple access to the tuning on them, and Roush just released a supercharger kit for the 24 Mustang GT and Dark Horses. They have access, but that's as of right now, making this video, those are the only ones that have access. But like I said, I'm very hopeful that companies like HB Tuners and SCT and PCM Tech at some point in time will be able to custom tune them from people like us. And it won't be just limited to, great big Ford partner programs. Now, why are we shut out? Well, we're shut out because so many aftermarket tuners, not me, not other legitimate tuners, but have been doing what we just talked about, disabling rear O2 sensors, doing things that would make their product not emissions legal. And, the government is cracking down harder and harder and harder on that kind of stuff. And the OEMs have felt the pressure to lock the ECM security even tighter so that, people like us couldn't get access. But I think we'll get it sooner or later. Guys, that's all the rambling I'm going to do today for our first question and answer series. Like I said, post your comments with your questions. I'll try to do this maybe weekly, bi-weekly, once a month, just depending on how the flow comes in. But I'll do another one. I'll do another question and answer video, and I'll follow up with the questions that you pose in the comments on this video. So anyways, guys, thank you for following along. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you again soon.